Hey everyone, here I will explain what you need to do for your class project. So in my example, I'm looking at the Peruvian economy. You can choose any economy of your choice. So write it like the way you are writing your own creation, your own paper. I'll start with an introduction that's telling us what we are trying to relate. Here I am trying to relate the growth rate of annual real GDP. Okay, so here this is gonna be in percentages and unemployment rate. So this is gonna be percentages too. So apples to apples relation. Let me show you how you get these graphs. Let me go to this website, which is tradingeconomics.com. Click on indicators and then you click on countries. Okay, I'm going to click on countries here. After that, you can pick any economy of your choice. Let's say we look at the United States economy. Click on GDP and after that look at the GDP growth rate, or rather the GDP annual growth rate. Here I have data from 2019 to 2022. That means the 3 years data. I can change it the 10 years data here. I wish to see my data in this column form, and that's why I clicked on column. So here I have this 10 years data. If you want to see a longer period, click on 25Y. We are trying to look at the GDP data series here. I will go to my PowerPoint, example PowerPoint. So I looked at the Peruvian GDP growth rate series. I copied and pasted the data from the Trading Economics website to this PowerPoint, and you can do the same. Then you go and comment on the GDP series, where you are seeing recession, where you are seeing a trough, do you see an expansion, and do you see a peak. So this recession is the growth rate of real GDP is going down. Trough is the real GDP growth rate. This is hitting rock bottom. Expansion is real GDP is going up. Peak is, this is basically reaching a climax point. So a peak is usually followed by a recession. Now, if you look at the data for the United States economy, I see there was a recession over this period around 2002. Then it hit some rock bottom and then it was going up again. Now, the more significant recession occurred around 2008, 2009. And here you see the growth rate of annual GDP is negative. So this axis is 0 and it is falling below 0. What really happened here? We had the subprime mortgage crisis or the housing crisis. Now we have another COVID-induced recession around 2020. After that, the economy recovered. So if you look at this 2008-2009 data in your PowerPoint, you are going to explain why do we have a recession in this data series. Like, you can pick up US, you can pick up any economy, you can pick up Canada, you can pick up Italy, Germany, Japan, England, Australia, anything you want to work with. So when you see the GDP growing down, you have to say we have a recession, and then you go and Google up and see what happened during this time period in your particular economy. And again around 2020 I have another recession. So after that, really things were looking bright and looks like we are in for another recession right now. All right, so after you explain the GDP data series, next try to look at why did we have this recession. Was it due to productivity changes, monetary factors, political events, financial instability, natural disasters like earthquakes, tsunamis, or external shocks like COVID or anything else? This really depends on what economy you are working with. Okay, after you explain the GDP data series, I'm going to do a comparison between the GDP annual growth rate and the unemployment rate. Let me go to this website again. The easiest way to look at this comparison is, instead of looking at this data in a column form, I will look at this from a line form. Now I have the US economy here. I will click on compare, pick up the same economy. In my example, I'm going to pick up the United States economy because I was trying to pick up the US economy. Here we go. The same economy, two different data series. That's what I'm trying to look at. And then pick indicator. So here I'll pick up the unemployment rate. Now you see how these two series are related to one another. So my main purpose here, let me explain what I'm trying to look at. I'm trying to look at, are we seeing any kind of cyclical unemployment? So this cyclical unemployment is related to recessions. This means our GDP growth rate is going down and this unemployment, this one is going up. So we can see some kind of inverse relation between GDP and unemployment rate. Let's see if we see anything for the US economy here. I see something around 2009. We had a recession and unemployment. So the unemployment we have here is a cyclical unemployment. We see some kind of cyclical unemployment around 2020. So the real GDP growth rate went down and unemployment rate skyrocketed. And then when the economy improved, when we had an expansion, the unemployment rate went down for the US economy. So just to keep things simple, try to pick up two business cycles. You do not really need to explain 3 or 4 or more than 4 events. Just stick with 2 events here. For the US economy, if I'm working with this one, I will stick with what happened around 2008, 2009 and around 2020. Okay, so another thing, depends on the economy you are working. You might not see any inverse relation between these two data series. If you see the GDP growth rate is going down and unemployment is going up, let me see. So let me just make this a little bit right. There is cyclical unemployment, but I think I was trying to say, if GDP is going up and unemployment is going up, then there is no cyclical unemployment. So this cyclical is just related to recessions. So if you see unemployment increasing, that means people do not have jobs and they're actively looking for jobs, and the GDP growth rate is also increasing. That means the economy is doing well, productivity is increasing. Then you might investigate the presence of frictional and structural unemployment. Okay, and at the end you can use some references and point out what references you used for your class project. All right, that's all for now. Thank you very much.